At 5.8mm thick and 163 grams, this slim phone packs many of the features you'll find on other S25 series devices. But the unique design is a breath of fresh air. As I hold Samsung's super thin and light Galaxy S25 Edge, the first word that comes to mind is airy. My next thought is, if I were the S25 Plus, I'd be worried. In my early hands-on with the S25 Edge at a preview event in New York, I was struck by how much the new phone carries over from its S25 counterparts. It maintains the 200-megapixel wide camera from the S25 Ultra, the 6.7-inch display from the S25 Plus and the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor you'll find across the other three S25 devices, but it does so within a sleek, 5.8mm titanium frame, clocking in at 163 grams. It feels like something I can throw in my bag or pocket and hardly notice. In fact, the S25 Edge strikes me as exactly what a middle-of-the-line flagship phone should be, a fresh, elevated take on the baseline model, which pulls in premium features to justify its $1,100 price. The exciting design, ultra-level wide camera and spacious display actually make this an enticing option for anyone who wants something a little out of the ordinary. But that's not to say there aren't any compromises in store, the most notable being the battery, more on that later. Pre-orders for the Galaxy S25 Edge are open now, and the phone will arrive on May 30th. It comes in three colors: silver, jet black and icy blue. What makes the S25 Edge stand out? The biggest question leading up to the release of the S25 Edge has been, why would someone want a thinner phone anyway? After spending a little time with the device, while the S25 Edge thickness may not be visually striking at first glance, getting your hands on the phone is a different story. Comparing how the S25 Edge's 5.8mm, 163G frame feels to the S25 and S25 Plus, I registered just how much thinner and lighter it really is. For reference, the baseline S25 is 7.2mm thick and weighs 162 grams, but has a smaller 6.2-inch screen. The S25 Plus has the same 6.7-inch display as the Edge, but is 7.3mm thick and weighs 190 grams. It's a noticeable difference. The moment of truth was applying some force to the phone to see if it gave at all. Impressively, it felt quite sturdy. If not, I'd probably have gotten myself into some trouble with Samsung. It touts a Corning Gorilla Glass Ceramic 2 display, along with a Gorilla Glass Victus 2 backing. My initial impression is that you shouldn't have to worry about accidentally turning the S25 Edge into a foldable by keeping it in your back pocket, but that's certainly something I'll have to test in my review. The S25 Edge also maintains the same IP68 rating for dust and water resistance you'll find on the other S25 series phones. The biggest trade-off, at least on paper, appears to be battery capacity. The Galaxy S25 Edge's 3,900 mAh battery pales in comparison to what you'll get on the baseline S25, 4,000 mAh, and the S25 Plus, 4,900 mAh. Samsung isn't sharing how many hours you'll get out of the S25 Edge's battery, other than stating it'll last you all day. That's something else I look forward to testing. The S25 Edge supports 25-watt wired charging and 15-watt wireless charging. With thinner phones, camera hardware can also be scaled back. But the S25 Edge boasts three cameras, a 200-megapixel wide, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide and a 12-megapixel selfie camera. Megapixels aren't everything, so I'm eager to see how that all translates into real-world photography. Samsung points to Galaxy AI for helping to boost camera quality and for powering photo editing features like generative edit. Like the S25 Plus, the S25 Edge has 12GB of RAM and 256GB and 512GB storage options. It'll cost a little more than the S25 Plus, though, $1,100 for 256GB and $1,220 for 512GB. But it's still priced lower than the top-of-the-line $1,300 S25 Ultra. You'll find the same Galaxy AI features Samsung has been touting on the rest of its S25 phones, like sketch-to-image and audio eraser. Gemini features are also on board, like Gemini Live and Circle to Search. On the edge of a new trend, the launch of the Galaxy S25 Edge comes amid a thin phone phenomenon. Earlier this year, Oppo released its super thin Find N5 foldable, which it calls the world's thinnest book-style foldable, measuring just 8.93mm thick when closed and 4.21mm thick when opened. Apple is also rumored to be developing a thinner Air version of the iPhone 17. And at MWC 2025, phone maker Tecno showed off its Spark Slim phone concept, which measures 5.75mm thick and weighs just 146 grams, according to the company. Depending on how consumers respond, the S25 Edge could be the phone to help kickstart the thin phone craze. If people don't have to compromise too much when it comes to camera, storage and battery, three of the biggest considerations when buying a phone, according to a CNET survey, they could be inclined to pay up for a fresh form factor. After all, phones have become rather boring and predictable, apart from a handful of foldable options. The S25 Edge could be a breath of fresh air. I look forward to seeing how the S25 Edge holds up in the real world and whether it truly can maintain its edge. I had to do it. So this was all about the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge. Hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye.